Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon. Fun stuff today. So really quick, I hope you guys are all doing amazing. I hope you had an amazing weekend. Time for another live that we can do something that make your lead conversion and lead follow-up a little bit easier. Today we're going to talk about something I think that is very simple, very easy, very effective to do. And what we're going to talk about is how to use WP Fusion to track video views on your website. Now, I'm not suggesting you use this for every single piece of video that you put up there, but maybe you've got videos on a sales page. Maybe there's videos on follow-up pages, maybe there's delivery emails, maybe there's frequently asked questions, maybe there's an email that you send that has a video of here are the next steps that we have to go through to achieve what we need to do. The videos really could be, anything. There's not, the options are limitless. Now, I wouldn't go all in and track everything. I would only track what you need to track based on the data that you need to track. So let's get into this. I'm gonna share my screen here and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna use WP Fusion to track video views. Here's what that looks like. All right, so I'm in WP Fusion right now. Let's go ahead and move this mouse and everything out of the way. And you'll notice if I go into settings, I do not think I already have this installed, but we're gonna go double check it right now. So I'm just in our sandbox site here. We're going to update Elementor. What I'm looking for is WP. I do not have it. So you're going to log into your WP Fusion account. Log in right here. And then we're going to find, oh yeah, we got our lovely cookie issue with WP Fusion. It's a Cloudflare issue. So let's open Chrome here. We are in Chrome, so let's enable cookies, see why this is not. We're not in incognito here. Let's see if we can fix this. Okay, let's try that again. So WP Fusion, I think that's how you do it. We'll find out. We try as hard as we can not to research this stuff before we go live because chances are the same things that you're dealing with, we're gonna deal with as well. And if everything looks like so easy on these lives and it makes sense, but then you run into things, it gets kind of frustrating, right? So let's get back to that. So I've got my keys right here. What I wanna do is I wanna go download an additional one. Let's see where that's at here. Go back to view upgrades. No, we don't want to view upgrades. We want to go to downloads. Okay, this is what we're looking for. So if we go to downloads right here, we're looking for WP Fusion Media Tools 1-2.3. So I'm going to go back to my plugins here. I'm going to add new. And I'm going to upload this plugin. Go to my downloads and I'm going to go find that WP Fusion Media Tools. We're going to hit install. Let's activate that plugin. And then really quick, we'll upload these later, update these later, but I am going to update WP Fusion. Okay, perfect. So this is how this is going to look. If I go to a page, and let's go create a new page. Let's say we're going to do a simple page with a, here's what happens next. Let's say maybe you just set an appointment. So we're going to say showing appointment Here is what happens next. Let's edit that with Elementor. And let's add a simple section right here. We're going to put a headline. So this would say something like, congratulations on moving forward. Let's center that. Then we're going to add another headline below it, or a heading rather. Here is what to expect going forward. Let's make this a heading 4. And then from here, we're going to put a video. So all we're going to do is go search for the video widget. We're going to add that right here. And you may choose to put a specific video in here, or maybe you're going to use an ACF field, or maybe something you want to merge into there. That's totally fine. So what you want to do from here is, you'll notice now, because we activated that WP Fusion, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you now have this WP Fusion media tools option. So you can say when the media started, so when they click the play button, go ahead and apply this tag. When they complete it, go ahead and add this flag. Now, let's say that in your specific, maybe this is a sales video. You might say, like, at 2 minutes and 14 seconds, you have a call to action. You may say, hey, if this makes sense to you, then go to this domain to schedule a call. Maybe that happens at 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Well, if we go back to this, what you now have the ability to do is click add item, and you can say at 2 minutes and 13 seconds, apply the Carlsbad. That's obviously a sample tag, but you might say apply that, or you could apply a tag that says SAW CTA1, right? So we can close that right there. And let's say, again, at minutes 4, you mentioned the call to action again. So we're going to go to here, and we're going to say right at minute 4, I mentioned call to action number 2, and I want them to apply that tag, right? So we can apply tags based on, did they come to the page, right? And if you want to see how you would apply it, if they just visit the page, then what you would do here, I'm going to go ahead and save this really quick. If you just want to apply a tag every time that they come to the page, that's going to be in the normal WordPress settings, or normal WordPress page rather, and you're going to go here to WP Fusion. And this is require tags, meaning if they don't have this tag, they can't see that page. We don't want that option. We don't want require tags. We don't want all tags. We don't want redirect. What we want is apply tags when a user visits this page. So let's say that we want to know if they just saw this page in the first place. Now, this is really important because now in email marketing systems, we used to be able to apply tags if people opened an email or they clicked a link in an email. And the link click in the email, if you're using like HubSpot or Keep or ActiveCampaign, those still apply. So those links will still work. What we can't do now is build any automations based on the open rates or what they do with the email, because Apple isn't reporting that data anymore. So it's really important to understand that, like, even though ActiveCampaign, Keep, and HubSpot still has the data. In fact, earlier this morning, I should have mentioned this earlier, Keep sent out an email to all users, and I think as of February 17th, if I'm not mistaken, Keep is going to remove all automations based on the opening or any action of an email. All those are going away. So we know those are happening. But if let's say that somebody's on your website right now and they're just clicking everywhere, maybe they didn't come from an email, but they are logged into the website, we want to be able to know, hey, did you see this page? And if you did, maybe there's a 3 email sequence that we want to send you. Did you start the video? If there was, there might be a 3 email sequence we want to send you. And that email sequence would be something like, hey, we noticed you started it but didn't finish. Click here to watch the whole thing. At 2 minutes, we give you an offer that's like totally ridiculous. You need to take us up on it, right? So it's kind of like a nudge email to get them back to the post, to where you can just keep them going. And chances are you guys were on websites right now, like for instance, if you go to Nordstrom.com and you shop for whatever shirts, all of a sudden you start seeing like shirts on every page all over the place. And they're following you around. This is kind of like a way of retargeting, but using your CRM as the tool that follows them around. Does that make sense to you guys? So you might want to fire a tag if somebody views a page. You might want to fire a tag if somebody starts a video. You might want to fire a tag if somebody finishes a video. You might want to fire a tag if somebody clicks a call to action. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So if you want to apply a tag when a user views this page, you can do that. You can also remove tags, and you can also say, hey, you know what? I don't know that this person really deserves a tag if they just see this post for like 2 seconds. That would be a bad thing. So this one you could say, don't apply or remove any of these tags unless they've been on the page for 12 seconds. That's what this feature would be like. We're super useful because we don't want to get a whole bunch of false positives. Now, in order for us to be able to fire these tags right here and apply those seconds, or if we're going to go back to the Elementor page and fire tags if they start the video or view, we'll go back over here and edit and come back down here. If we want to fire these tags at 2 minutes and 13 seconds or 4 minutes, or when it starts or when it ends, they have to be logged in, right? And if you're using Keep, which I know a lot of our clients are using Keep, if you Google WP Fusion auto login, there's this link right here, auto login. That means at the end of all of your links, assuming we've created a automation that creates users on your WordPress sites. I'll cover that later on in this video and maybe on another video on how to set that up more specifically. It gives you all these little pieces of code that you need to put on the end of your link to auto log them in. So what this means is that if I send an email out and I've got 3 stories in there and they click one of those stories, I want to create a login session from my CRM to my WordPress so that WordPress understands that this user in my CRM is now on my site, and based on the activities they take on my site, I can dynamically follow up with them. For example, let's say that you're in the real estate space and you want to create a video of 3 reasons why you should choose to interview us as your real estate agent. Well, if they came from an email and clicked onto that landing page and they watched the video, but they didn't click the CTA on the bottom of it, or maybe they didn't fill out the form, because WP Fusion, Keep, and WordPress are all synced up through WP Fusion, you now know that they went to the page, but they didn't take an action. So the emails are there is not... the email there would be a really simple nudge of, hey, we noticed you watched the video on 3 reasons why you should work with us, but didn't schedule a call. Were there any questions you had before you took next steps? You don't want to just say, go schedule the call, because you don't know the reasons why they didn't schedule the call. Could be a timing issue. Maybe they just don't like you. Maybe they don't like that you wear a hat. Maybe you don't serve a market that they want to serve. There's a million different reasons as to why they wouldn't have booked that call. Don't just assume it's because they just didn't click the button. There might be something else there, right? So one of the things that we really want to stay like super aware of is, as we do this stuff, we want to think of all the different reasons why people are choosing not to take actions on our site. For example, if you guys are on our steveolson.co website and you've downloaded or you've registered for any one of our PDFs, I'll tell you something weird. It will blow you away about how many people will read a blog post. They'll click a call to action on the blog post. They'll go to the squeeze page. They'll fill out all their info, but they won't download the PDF in their email. Now, for us, we don't give the PDF on the website. We give it to the email because we want everybody to know that all the goodness that we give away for free is always going to come via email. It's never going to come from the website because everything that we do is housed within our CRM. So we want to train everybody. And training, I say that very ethically. We want to show everybody that, hey, when we send an email, there's probably something good in the email. It would shock you to know that, and I don't have the exact percentages in front of me. I could probably pull this up and write a blog post about this later. But it would be interesting for you to know that we just don't have the ability to... Or it would shock you to know, rather, that there are a huge percentage of people that took the time to read the blog post, fill out their info on the landing page, but never download the very PDF that they requested. You might think like, well, who does that? A lot of people do. Like 60% of the people don't do it. So if they don't download it, right, we have the ability to dynamically follow up saying, hey, you requested this, you didn't download it, here's a link again, just so you have for your records. Now, on the flip side of that, maybe the PDF is like 7 things you need to know before you buy a home. So I go to a blog post, I click the call to action, I go to the squeeze page, I download that, or maybe I watch the video or whatever it is, and you send the email. Now you can send dynamic emails that say, hey, we realize you, we're just asking for some feedback. We know you looked at the PDF. Were there any questions you have? Here's how you can schedule a call with us, or reply to this email, or would you like us to do, XYZ step, right? Insert another call to action right there. This now gives us permission to dynamically follow up with people based on where they are in their lead follow-up, right? Somebody who I think does this, or a company that I think does this very well, probably the best, is HubSpot. If you look at their blog and you read any one of their how-to articles, there's probably like 15 call to actions in that blog post. And if you go to download one of those, then there's a really quick email, sequence that fires out saying, thanks for downloading this. Here's your link. Do you have any questions about HubSpot, or do you have any questions about digital marketing, or website automation, or anything like that? It's really easy for people to follow up dynamically based on all of those actions that we have the ability to take. That's what the media tool specifically has the ability to do. Let me take you back to it. So if you're using Infusionsoft or Keep, all you have to do is apply this little piece of code to the end of any link. So in this case, we created a congratulations on moving forward. So let's add a little bit of spacing to this so this looks okay. We'll do 20 on top, 40 on the bottom. And let's say we add a button down here. Now, I don't think you can add a tag based on a click of a button. That would be nice. And let's make that in the middle. Let's make that extra large. And let's say we can, yeah, there is no option. But there is another thing in WP Fusion that is called events tracking. Let's see what this does. So let's go ahead and save this. Let's open up Inbound Eddy. This I have not used before. So we'll see what this does. So we'll go to plugins, we'll add new. And I'll give you guys a link to WP Fusion in the footer. It will be an affiliate link if you're not already using them right now. It does not cost you anymore. It pays us a huge commission of, I don't know, probably $10. But it helps us keep these videos going. Okay, so let's event tracking add-on. So let's go back over here. Let's refresh this page. And let's see if that gives us more options around this. I bet it does. Don't really care about an icon here. Nothing in settings. Let's close this out, close that out. Let's go back to our plugins. And let's just see what I'll post this link in the comments below as well, so you guys can see this. You know what? It does not look like it supports Keep because Keep doesn't have site tracking. But yeah. Okay, so if you're on ActiveCampaign or HubSpot, this could be a really good feature, but it looks like here, you can't apply a tag if you're using Keep based on a button click. However, you could apply a tag on the next page that they come from this button, right? So let's say this was a scheduling call, and the only way they're gonna get to that scheduling page is from this button. Then you would apply a tag on that specific page that says, hey, they were on this page for at least 8 seconds. I think 8 seconds would be the soonest that I would fire that tag. I would not fire the tag any later or any earlier than that because a couple reasons. Number one, they could have a slow internet connection. So that 8 seconds could have been the entire time where the page should load. They need a little bit of time to see what the page is doing, right? Because if they don't understand what the page is doing and you fire the tag, you might think that, oh, I have a whole bunch of leads that saw this page, when in reality, most of them probably weren't interested because they didn't realize long enough what was on there. I hope that makes sense. Let's talk about how we get them to be a user. So what you need to do, and again, I'll link this in the comments below, WP Fusion, add new user. So you'll notice here that there is an automation for Keep, and they're pretty much the same across the board. We use this on Keep platforms and we use it on HubSpot platforms. It works very well. Let me show you the Keep version. Okay, so you'll notice right here, there's a little HTTP post that you need to launch, and these are the fields that you need to use to sync the users with Keep. So we need to, this would be your domain. This would be, inboundeddy.com. The contact ID, this would merge in from Keep. This is important. The WPF action add. This is what's going to add the user from your Keep install or your ActiveCampaign or HubSpot over to WordPress, because if the user doesn't exist in WordPress, we can't track them. Your access key is going to be in your WP Fusion account. That's just your API key. Role is going to be subscriber. And then send notification true. If you put this true, they're going to get an automatic email that says, hey, you've been added as a user to the site. Now, this is going to be a default WordPress notification email. So I would turn that off. I would not send them that. You can go into the WP Fusion settings of your website. If you go to settings right here and you go down to WP Fusion, I believe it's on the bottom of here that says, yes, send us the password back. Right here, see where it says return password field? So we have actually a membership password field inside of our Keep application. And if you send it back, then we can send a Keep email automatically with that. That's how we do that. That's an automation or a campaign that you would build inside Keep so we can control the delivery of that password. Here's the great thing about this. If you always use auto login links from your email, you never really have to worry about them logging in with a password. So in certain scenarios, especially if you're like in the real estate space, or maybe you're in the content marketing or the affiliate marketing space, there's not really a reason for them ever to have their login, because the only way that, and let's be honest, like 99% of the traffic is going to come from your CRM to the website. So that's going to auto log them in every single time. And some people clear out cache and cookies all the time, so this isn't always the case. But that cookie that WP Fusion leaves on the website to keep them auto logged in lasts for about 6 months. And so it doesn't matter how they go there. If they go there from the same browser on the same computer in the same location, anytime in the next 6 months, it's going to auto log them in. If they click an email and that CID equals, the contact ID, like the link I put below, and this will all be in the blog post and in the YouTube comments below. All of that stuff is, as long as you use it, they'll be logged in pretty much perpetually. There's really no reason for them to log in with a password. The other reason why I think that's so important is that you don't have to manage like, hey, I'm trying to log in, but my password doesn't work. They can just submit a form that says my email is steve@inboundeddy.com. That can go back to Keep. Keep can immediately send them an email right back saying, here's how you log in with just that login link. And that creates an auto login session like that. They never have to worry about putting a password in there whatsoever. In my opinion, of all the great things that WP Fusion does, this is what they do the best. And at least on how we use it and all the use cases that we deploy out there, it really doesn't break. It's a really solid, stable system. So if you're thinking about using WP Fusion, or maybe you have a very integrated sales process, meaning you have a whole bunch of lead magnets that kick in, you got a whole bunch of email follow-up based on those lead magnets, maybe they're getting a daily content email, which all of you guys should be doing. And then you've got a sales team that's trying to figure out, hey, who are the people that I should be following up with today, and who are the people that we should be ignoring? This type of media add-on is gonna tell your salespeople, hey, these are all the people that are engaging with my videos, and here's all the people that just don't really care. You might just put a little tag on there that starts a tag that says, watched a sales video. And then in the Infusionsoft campaign, or Keep campaign, excuse me, all that does is just take a field and it adds a 1 to it. You might have like a video views field that's a number field. And you can tell Keep inside of the campaign builder to apply math to a field. So go look for this field that's called video views and just add a number 1 to this. And then have a widget on your dashboard that says these are all the people that have at least 5 sales video views or more. And you know that those are probably the people that are closest to a commission check, closest to an appointment, closest to a referral, closest to whatever, however you sell, because they're the most engaged. Those people that you call, they're already gonna know who you are. They've already engaged with you because they're watching videos. So you're not gonna have that phone call of like, huh? Who are you? Like, why are you calling me? What's going on? I don't know, I'm not interested. And you guys know those awkward sales calls, right? We're in the sales business. We sell stuff every single day. And I will tell you, I freaking hate getting sales calls. I can't stand it, right? Doesn't mean that I don't want a sales call. It's just that I know that when an out of area call, I try to answer every single phone call that I get. And there's always like a 6-second delay because their auto dialer's trying to catch up with it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, hello, is this Steven Olson? Nobody calls me Steven, right? So I automatically know this is somebody who doesn't know who I am. And from the get-go, I'm just not interested. I don't want to talk anymore, right? I'm already dead in the water at that point from a sales perspective. Doesn't matter what they're offering. In my world, literally 99% of the time, because we buy so many domains, it's web services, it's SEO services, it's ad agencies, right? They're not overly creative, right? It's just, whoever makes the most calls and spends the most money wins type of thing. But when I get a phone call of a site that I'm very engaged with, like, so one of the YouTube guys that I follow a lot is Peter McKinnon. He's in the video and photography space. If somebody from Peter's office called me, even whether I was looking to buy something in the photo space or not, like, I would listen to the call because I'm super engaged with watching his videos, right? Like somebody maybe from Darren Hardy or Tony Robbins or any of the pieces of content that I consume on a daily basis, if I ever received a cold call from them because I've consumed so much content from them, it's never going to be, oh my gosh, why are you calling me? It's going to be, wow, okay, cool. Somebody from their office is calling me right now. I'm already engaged. That's the power of doing something like this and legitimately following up dynamically based on what they're doing. Now you might be thinking like, okay, well, what's the process in making this happen? Well, step one, it's as much organic content as you can put out there as possible. As much organic content as you can put out there as possible. Blog posts, videos, don't squeeze it, don't ask for email address, don't whatever. The call to actions on those posts are just meant to take them to the next step. So if we look at HubSpot really quick, let me give you an example. Again, I mentioned earlier that I think they do this best, and I really do. So I'm just gonna go to HubSpot.com, go to their blog, and we'll just pick a random post here. Let's go to Instagram Reels versus TikTok versus Snapchat. Which should business use? It's a pretty good post, right? You'll notice this is a 12-minute read, which means there's probably a lot of text on here, which there is. But I want you guys to check something out. I want you to count how many times they ask you to do something on this post. Every one of these links, I promise you, is a call to action, right? Here's the first one. Download now, social media trends in 2022 free report. So if I click that, that's going to take me to a squeeze page. There we go. If I click it, it's probably going to pop up a form. There it is. There's my form. Okay. If I go back to the blog post, excuse me, I know that remember Vine, despite its huge initial growth, if I click huge initial growth, this links out to another VentureBeat article. And you might be thinking like, why would they want to do that? Well, they've already got the traffic. So sure, they should give other people love. That was probably a call to action. The 6-second video was discontinued in Twitter. There's another call to action. This links to their PR report. Again, if the content is good enough, you don't have to worry about sending them somewhere else. They will come back, just like I'm coming back with you right now. This pop-up right here is the same call to action as that. Snapchat probably links to a PR story. TikTok links to a PR story. Same thing. These are all linking out because this is good SEO process. This is an image that's, they made, which is good because they put their logo on it, which is always great. And then there's a call to action up here, start a demo. They're asking you to join a list that has 600,000 people on it. There's another call to action. There's a broken image right there, which is unfortunate. Here's another detailed post that they're going to link you to, probably on their brand. It is right there. So this is causing continuum. And again, here's their Snapchat guide. And these landing pages are overarching. They're the same, right? They're very simple. It's pop-up, fill out your info, we'll send this to you. We go back here and keep going down. Again, some broken images, which is totally not like them. Some more screenshots. How to do this. There's another call to action. More link outs. Another broken image. Bad example for you guys. Here's another free resource, social media trends. Again, the same thing. So they listed it as a image or a text URL, a pop-up URL, and then an image CTA at the bottom. Right there. And that's it. And then they're going to ask you to go to other articles, right? So this would be an example of, and I'm sure if I go here and I submit something and I give them my info, there's going to be some email follow-up that's going to attach me to this saying, hey, we noticed you download this. Are you currently looking for a media agency or something like that, right? That's always going to kick in. And by the way, if you guys are watching this live, some of you guys are watching this on our blog posts on inboundfanatics.com or steveolson.co. If you view the live on YouTube, that will activate chat and you can go back and forth with me. We can still see how many of you are on right now in real time, but you do not have the ability to chat if you're watching this on the website. So always make sure you go to YouTube and find us there so we can do that. There are ways. In another video, I'll probably go live later on in this week and show you how to do this. You might think like, oh my gosh, in like 3 blog posts, we saw like 5 different call to actions. Like I don't have time to put all this stuff together. Well, here's the cool thing. Whether you use ActiveCampaign, Keep, HubSpot, Entreport, ConvertKit may do this as well. They don't do it quite the same, but there is a version that you can do this with. There's a way that we can create a template, one symbol template landing page. We use one form over and over again. We don't build the form over and over again. And we use one campaign inside Keep. And what you do is you build the form. You just keep duplicating the squeeze page. You change the headline and what they're going to get. You publish it. Then you create a dynamic widget, which I can show you in another video. And then what happens is when they fill out that form, inside that form, a hidden field would be to pull the page title of the landing page. And in Keep, you would say, if the page title equals 7 things you need to know about buying a home, then just fill in this link. And then it sends the same email, but in the email, it's just a different call to action in every single link. Now, I know I'm explaining this right now and not showing it. It may not make sense. But your ability to create a whole bunch of different squeeze pages with a whole bunch of different lead magnets, with a whole bunch of different small little 3 email sequence follow-ups, there's actually a lot of leverage. What's up, Caleb? There's a lot of leverage that you can use with this to scale this really quick. Somebody that I'm coaching personally right now is putting together 3 to 4 blog posts a day with his team right now. And I think on average, the team is creating 2 to 3 squeeze pages a day based on the content or the categories of content that they're creating. And it's very effective. I read somewhere from HubSpot, or maybe we're a partner with HubSpot. Maybe they told me this, or maybe I read this on a blog, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even want to say it now because I'm going to be totally off, that HubSpot organically every day generates thousands and thousands of registrations every single day for free. Now, thousands of registrations every single day for free does not equal thousands of new clients. But here's what I will tell you. It doesn't equal 0. And I want you really to understand that it does not equal 0. Super important for you to understand this, because if you don't understand that principle of giving free content away, then asking for a lead magnet, then dynamically following up, it's always like run a lead, collect their info on Facebook, and then follow up until they die. But there's no contextual bridge from when they give you their info to why they should meet with you. It's the #1 reason why in the real estate space specifically, people are okay with like a 0.5% conversion, because they're not willing to put in the work to add that contextual bridge between when they became a lead and why they should agree to be an appointment. We can do that with written word. We can do it with podcasts. We can do it with video. We can do it with using other people's videos. I know a couple of people that are in my network that do nothing but curate content on YouTube and other blog posts, and they just write reaction blog posts as to what their opinion is on that video. They never even create the video in the first place. They just write an opinion blog post on that, and they use that for content. And these guys clean house on lead generation. There's a million ways to do this. But to get from a lead magnet to a call, there has to be a contextual bridge that we just give them content over content over content and dynamic follow-up to make sure that happens. So I'll give you guys some screenshots on the blog post. If you are not currently subscribed to our Insiders blog over at steveolson.co, I encourage you to do that right away. That's how you're going to get notified every time we go live or every time we post a new blog post, whether it's about real estate or inbound marketing. That's where everything kind of starts. If we can help you in any way with inbound marketing, just go to steveolson.co. At the very top menu, you'll see Join Insider Coaching, and we can help you that way as well if you want us to help you build that platform with you. No matter what you use, we'd love to be a part of that. But going back to the beginning, if you can get back to, or if you can just fall in love a little bit with this page, and again, I will link this in the YouTube comments below and on the blog post so you can learn how to auto link. I will also create another video this week that talks about how to create auto login sessions and that whole welcome sequence. It'll work in all the CRMs. We'll use Keep as an example, and you guys can download that campaign as well. I hope this was valuable. Any questions, let us know. Trust me, with pixels going away, last thing I'm going to tell you, this year and in the next year, all pixels are going away. Facebook pixel, Google pixel, YouTube, it's all going away. So the old days where we can say, hey, if you looked at the site, send in this email in regards to advertising, that's going away. We are going to back to a marketing world that he or she who spends the most amount of money and who creates the most amount of content will win. Everybody else will get left in the dust. The highest spenders and the highest content creators will win. Everybody else gets left in the dust because we don't have the ability to get super specific on targeting anymore. It's getting harder and harder every single month. Content is how we get our stuff out in front of people to make this super relevant. So I hope this was valuable. I'll give you all the links in the blog post below. Have a super powerful week. And in the next one, we'll talk about how to set up that auto login session with WP Fusion. All right, talk soon. Good one.